Welcome. Today, we're going to talk about how you can build your very own AI assistants, to handle all that digital busy work that just eats up your day. And the best part, we're going to do it all without writing a single line of code.
I mean, just think about your typical day for a second. How much of it is just lost? Lost to managing a crazy inbox, or manually copying and pasting data into spreadsheets, or just moving information from one app to another. It's so repetitive, it's draining, and honestly, it keeps you from the stuff that actually matters. So, what if you could just delegate all of that? Seriously, imagine having a personal assistant that lives right inside your computer, handling all those boring tasks for you automatically. This isn't science fiction anymore, it's the real power of no-code AI automation. And it's a superpower that's now available to literally everyone. This is how you get your time back for the big picture stuff, for creativity and strategy.
So let's dive right in. In this first part, we're going to explore what this whole automation superpower is really about. And I want you to just forget any intimidating thoughts you might have about programming or complex engineering. That's not what this is.
The best way to wrap your head around no-code automation is to think of it like building with digital Legos. You've got a whole box of pre-made blocks and you just snap them together in the right order to create something totally new. Or, hey, maybe you're more of a cook. It's like following a recipe. If you can follow a few simple steps in order, you can build an incredibly powerful workflow. It's that simple.
Okay, so if we're going to be building with digital Legos, we're going to need our kit, right? So in this next section, let's look at the actual tools you'll be using to build your AI agents. This is where the magic really starts to happen.
The two biggest players out there right now are Zapier and Make.com, and they both have different strengths. Think of Zapier as your go-to for simple, linear tasks. It's super beginner-friendly, perfect for things like when I get a new email attachment, save it to Dropbox. Easy. Make.com, on the other hand, gives you this incredible visual canvas for more complex stuff, with all sorts of branching logic. Think, when a sale comes through, check how much it's for. If it's over $100, send this custom email. If not, add them to this other list. So, which one you choose really just depends on how ambitious your first project is.
So now that you're thinking about your platform, let's break down the actual building blocks themselves. And here's the really cool part. Every single automation, no matter how wild and complex it looks, is built from just a handful of core components.
Everything starts with a trigger. A trigger is just the go signal. That's it. It's that one specific event that you decide on that tells your automation, okay, time to wake up, let's get to work.
So what can that go signal be? Well, it could be based on a schedule, like a report that runs every single morning at 9 a.m. sharp. It could be an event in an app, like the moment a new email hits your inbox. You could use something called a webhook, which is basically just a way for apps to talk to each other in real time, so you get an alert the instant a payment is received. Or it could just be a manual button you click, which is awesome for when you're testing things out. Okay, so the trigger fires. Your workflow is awake. Now it needs to actually do something. That's where actions come in. These are the individual steps, the to-do list, the specific tasks that your little agent is going to perform, one after the other. This is the work itself. And actions can do so much. We're talking about pulling data from one app, maybe reformatting it, sending it over to an AI to get some insights, and then shooting the final result over to your Slack, into an email, or straight into a database. The possibilities are huge.
But what if you want your agent to be, well, smarter than just a simple A to B to C list? That's where logic components come in. Logic components are basically the brains of the whole operation. They let your workflow actually analyze information and make decisions about what to do next.
Here's how that thinking works. A filter is like a bouncer at a club. It only lets the workflow continue if a certain condition is met, like if an email subject line contains the word urgent. A router is like a traffic cop, sending data down different paths based on what it sees. And an iterator is super useful. It does the same action over and over again for every single item in a list. This is what makes your agent truly smart and adaptable.
All right, let's put it all together. This is the aha moment. Let's build an email summarizer. Step 1, the trigger. A new email lands in your inbox. Step 2, an action. The content of that email gets sent to an AI to get summarized. Step 3, another action. The AI does its thing and creates the summary. And the final result, that short, sweet summary gets posted directly into your Slack channel. See? Simple, powerful, and ridiculously useful. So, building a workflow is one thing, but how do you make sure it actually works every single time without breaking? In this section, we'll get into how to build a robust system. This is what turns a fun little project into a professional-grade tool. Because, let's be honest, things will go wrong. An app server might be down for a minute, an email might be formatted in a weird way, a connection might just fail. Does your entire system just grind to a halt and die?
Not if you build for reliability. You can add steps to check data before it's used, build in automatic retries if a step fails, and even create backup plans for when things really go sideways. Keeping logs of any errors helps you figure out what went wrong, and of course, testing each little piece and then the whole thing together makes sure it's all rock solid.
Okay, you now have the big ideas, you've seen the tools, and you know the best practices to make your agent reliable. There's really only one thing left to do. It's time to actually launch your very first agent.
So let's just recap the key takeaways real quick. First, with no-code platforms, anyone can do this. You don't need to be a developer. Second, everything is built on that simple trigger action model. Third, making your system reliable with error handling is absolutely critical. And finally, the golden rule. Start simple. Your first project does not have to change the world.
And that leads to maybe the most important thought of all. You can't just think your way through this. The absolute best way to learn is by doing. So go find one small, annoying, repetitive task in your day and make that your first target.
So I'll leave you with this question. Forget about the big, complex, earth-shattering ideas for just a minute. Look at your own computer screen, your own daily workflow, and just ask yourself, what's the first simple task that you are going to automate?